Hi guys, this is Heidi with Kiddos Corral, and today I'm going to show you how I make my strawberry preserves. Now this is really simple, and I'm just going to go over the ingredients with you, and then I'm going to get this started and come back and show you basically how very simple this is. First thing you're going to need is 4 cups of regular sugar, which I don't have out yet, but you're going to need to start with that. You're going to need 2 lemons, and what you're going to need to do is cut these 2 lemons apart, and you're going to have to squeeze all of the juice out of them. And I simply just hold mine over one of these little strainer like gadgets so that no seeds get into my pot. And if your hands aren't strong enough to squeeze all of the juice out, squeeze the half of a lemon with a pair of tongs, which I'll show you and demonstrate. It's very easy. You just want to put it in there like this and hold it over your strainer and then squeeze it real hard. And when you do that, it'll release the rest of the juices out, and you'll know for sure that you got all of it out of the lemon. You're going to need 2 pounds of strawberries. That's what I have here in this bowl. I've already washed them. I've already cut the little tops off of them, and they're in little bite-sized pieces. So they're little tiny pieces. Now, as far as what you do with the strawberry preserves when it is finished is entirely up to you. I am going to be canning mine in some mason jars. However, if you don't want to do that, you can put this in any airtight container and put it in the refrigerator and just use it whenever you need it. It won't go bad as long as it's refrigerated, but you cannot leave this on a shelf or, you know, come back to it. It's not going to work unless you complete the process of canning, which is sealing the tops of the can so that the preserves don't go bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 cups of sugar in my, I'm just going back my camera back here for a little bit. I'm going to get me a cup measurer. And the first thing I'm going to do is get my sugar in here. And I got my pot of sugar over here. So that's 1, 2, and this is going to be a delicious, that's 3, and 1 more. 4. That's a lot of sugar, but this is a lot of strawberries. You want it good and sweet. You want it to taste good. I'm hoping in the future that I can find a strawberry preserves in which I don't use as much sugar, and perhaps even maybe a sugar substitute. That would be better. But I decided since you know, it is summer down here where we live, we have places where we can actually go pick the strawberries, so there's no strawberry shortage around here whatsoever. I'm going to get a wood spoon. Now, I don't know if there's anything to this being said, but I have always been told that any time that you are cooking with sugar, like where you're going to melt it into a consistency, to always use a wooden spoon. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to that, or if a metal spoon affects it, but that's just something that I have always been told. Anytime that I make candy or anything like that, I have always used a wooden spoon. Now, one more thing that you're going to need is a gadget, and this one's mine, and I use this one quite frequently, is a candy thermometer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze all of the juice out of these 2 lemons and add this to this sugar, and I'm going to turn this on a medium heat, and I'm going to add my candy thermometer to this. Now, actually, I'm jumping the gun on that. I'm going to put my sugar in here, add my lemon juice, and I'm going, once this gets cooked, I'm going to, you know, stir this on medium heat. It's going to turn clear. Once it's a clear consistency, then I'm going to add my strawberries to it and combine it in there very well. I'm going to add my candy thermometer, and I want to cook this to 220 degrees. And that means that basically once I dip this out and I put it into my containers, that it's going to set up and it's going to be a nice thick wonderful preserves that you can have on toast, you can have it on pancakes, you can eat it any way that you like. Personally, I'm thinking about a 100-calorie bagel with just a little bit of this on it. That just sounds so divine to me right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my sugar going. I'm just going to simply add my lemon juice, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, I got my lemon juice here, as you can see, all squeezed from my 2 lemons, and oh my goodness, there's something about real lemon juice that smells so good. So good. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is turn this on medium heat. And all I want to do is I just want to bring this here. You want to make sure that you stay with it. Don't leave the kitchen. This sugar and lemon juice will break down into a clear liquid, and we don't want to leave it because it can burn. So we want to get this hot, and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like as soon as it gets cooking. I want to come back and show you what this looks like. It's all melted, and this will actually become a very translucent or clear, and it's getting there now. As it gets thinner, when I feel like it is as thin as necessary to get ready and add my strawberries. But this lemon juice and sugar just smells so good right now. But anyways, as this cooks, and make sure that you keep your pot on medium heat, otherwise your sugar's going to scorch, it's going to be burnt, and you're going to be out of ingredients, and it's going to be a waste of time that you spent on getting this together. So this is just about ready for me to add my strawberries, which I think I'm going to go ahead and add. And this is a lot of yummy strawberries. It was hard for me to keep my fingers out of the bowl from eating all of these wonderful strawberries. There we go. Now I'm just gonna, you want to get this stirred really good, because this is gonna, this is gonna boil and bubble, and it's gonna take on more of the consistency of a preserve as it cooks down. You just want to make sure that it's good and combined in there, because you want all those strawberries to have all that sugar and lemon juice, surrounding them, because that's what's going to make your preserves taste good. Whoop. Anyways, I hope you can see that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this on. I'm going to add my candy thermometer, and I'm just going to set it in here like this. And when that says 220 degrees, I know that it is ready. So I'll be back to show you what it looks like when it gets to that point. Okay, my strawberries are cooking up, and I just took the temperature of it, and it was at 206. And you want these to 240, 245 degrees. You'll feel your consistency of your strawberry mixture. It will actually change up. So you will about know whenever. The only thing that I did want to mention is you want to make sure that you scrape the sides, because the sugar crystals tend to have a, I don't know why it does it, but it kind of form along the edges of the pot as it cooks, and you want to make sure that all the sugar is down in with these strawberries. So I'm going to continue to let these cook and hopefully get up to 240 degrees. Now I will tell you that my recipe that I've always used says it takes between 7 and 8 minutes to get to 240 degrees. I personally think don't rush it, because if this is on too high, it will overflow. It will boil over and you'll have a big ginormous mess. This is not a process that needs to be figured out how we can get this to 240 degrees in the least amount of time possible. So I'm just going to let mine take its time and cook up, and when it gets to 240 degrees I'll show you what it looks like, and I'm going to get the process of canning it together. So I will be back when this comes to temperature. I am back, and I am holding at 217 right now in temperature. It is taking quite a while actually to get up to temperature, but as I was reading over my recipe, I realized, and I apologize, and hopefully when I edit this video I'll get it in there to let you guys know that the temperature needs to be up to 220, not 240. I had this recipe in with some other candies and other things that I make, and I misread it, not paying attention, but I apologize for that. But I'll try to, you know, edit it in the video to make sure that you guys know that it only needs to get up to 220 degrees. Right now I'm still holding at 217, and it's getting a very deeper red color. It's actually thickening up at this point, and as you can see, you want to make sure that you put this or cook this in a very heavy pot and something that is not shallow, because you do not want, if you got little kids running around, or you know your family's in the kitchen, you don't want anybody getting burnt. I had a friend one time that got burnt really badly, and I gotta tell you guys, it can be really excruciatingly painful to get burned with this stuff. So I'm still holding at 217, but it'll get up there to 220 soon enough. As soon as it does, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you put it in my jars. Now if you want to can this, you need to follow your canning directions. I simply just buy a brand new set of mason jars. I take them all apart. I boil everything, the lids and the you know, the glass jars themselves. I take those out. I let those sit to dry, and of course I got all that done. And then when I can this jelly into the jar and I put the tops on them, I'm going to put the jars, once I make sure that the lids are on extremely tight, I'm going to submerge the jars in hot water again, and the very tops of your cans should go down, like they go indented. If you ever seen a mason jar, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you break that seal, the can pops, and that is because it seals all the air out, and the can actually goes, you know, downward on the top, and then whenever the seal is broken, it's popped up, and you can actually take your finger and press the top. If it goes up and down, it's not sealed yet, it needs to boil longer. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and I am just patiently waiting. I'm at 218 now, just talking to you guys. So I'm going to come back when I'm at 220, and we're going to get this stuff jarred up. Because I'm going to tell you, this smells so heavenly. I can't hardly wait to eat it. It just smells so good. So we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I moved you all over here to my workstation. Let me adjust this just a tad. I've got all my mason jars here, and this little gadget here is worth every penny. It just costs $1. I got it from like a Dollar General store. You just pop it in there so that when you ladle it, it doesn't go everywhere. And believe me, you don't want it to go everywhere because it's hot. I'm going to try my best not to make a mess, because sometimes you do, you know, it's just part of canning. You make a little mess. And you want to leave about a ½ inch at the top of your jar so that your lid will go on nicely. And I'm trying to see what I got here. Yeah, that's good. And then all I do is just pop this one out of here and I go into the next one. Now, let me see where I put my jar lid there. All right, you got a cap and this part, of course. And what's nice about using the funnel is if you don't, usually it runs down the side and then you got a big mess to clean up and it's sticky and not so pleasant to work with. Now these are hot. You know, the jars are going to be kind of hot, so you don't want your children probably doing this. But like I said, you hear this? That means it's not sealed. When I boil that, I won't be able to hear that snap on the top. So, when you buy your mason jars, it will have the directions inside the mason jar to let you know, inside the box. A set of, I think I got a dozen here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a dozen, and it cost me $7. Save your jars when you're done eating, because eating the jelly, because then all you have to buy are these, and they're cheap. It's like $4 and you get a great big thing of them, and you can reuse them. All you got to do is boil them again and wash them, and you can reuse them. So I keep all my jars. I got tons of jars everywhere in this house. I'm the jar lady here lately. But I'm all about pinching those pennies. And if I can make it myself and make it taste good, I'm definitely going to do it. It's about being conservative, I guess, about conserving. That's important. Teaching your kids to make things like this is very important. Things are getting really expensive and it's harder and harder for families to make it. Grocery store prices are ridiculous. So when I can make something myself and it can taste wonderful like this, I'm going to make it myself. So you just want to pop that out of there and pop it into the next jar. And I'll just keep going until I get all of this yumminess all canned up. Remember, these jars are really hot. So hopefully you guys can see the jam and how it came out. Whether you call it jam or jelly or preserves, it's all good. It's all the same. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, the temperature of this needs to be at 220. It does have to be canned. It cannot be left out. Otherwise, if I wasn't going to can this stuff and put it up, I would probably pop this stuff in a giant Prego jar that I kept from having spaghetti one night, and just pop it into the refrigerator, and my family and I will eat out of it till it's gone. So I will be talking to you guys again soon, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. And I gotta get this last one done. Gotta get every bit of this yummy stuff in there. So I hope you guys have a good one. Bye-bye. Hey, I thought I would add this. I don't think I mentioned this in the video, but this recipe will make 6 of these jars like this. And also too, you're going to have people tell you you're going to need to have expensive canning equipment. No, you do not. If you're going to do the great big giant quart jars, or the big giant ones, I don't even know how much those even are. But anyways, if you're going to do that, yes, you are going to need a pot that's big enough. But see, these here are small, and my pot is ugly, and I realize it because, well, it's just, face it, it's old, and I just won't buy a new one. I just turn it on high, and I just put my can right in there. And when it comes to a boil, it will seal these lids. And you will not have any issue. And you're probably asking, how do you get them out? Well, I use a towel. Let me get one here. When I take these out, I use some tongs. I hold the sides just like this, and I get my towel up here, and I grab a hold of it, and I sit it down on the counter. Then I know that, it's done. Remember, you won't be able to hear it pop whenever it's finished. But I just thought I would add that, because some people think you got to have expensive canning equipment in order to make this work. You do not. You just have to have a pot in which the cans themselves or jars themselves will submerge in, and it'll cover the lids so that when it boils, it gets hot enough to lock. So that is it. I hope y'all enjoyed. Talk to you guys again. Bye.